You can do this as a mirror, this pop up. This is actually a small fridge. Slide forward, slide backwards, and seat material feels just as good as the second row seats. And the EV and the HEV, there's no shortage of power at all. The only complaint some people may make is probably the rear suspension. Hey guys, this is Jerry, welcome to the channel. Today we are driving the Denza D9. In case you don't know anything about the Denza, this is a BYD brand. It's under the BYD umbrella and it does have a joint share with the Mercedes group. The majority of the sales, production and design, even the driving part of this vehicle are going to be done by the BYD group. So essentially, this is a BYD vehicle. Denza is more of a premium brand. They do have the D9 as an MPV. They do have some coupe-shaped looking vehicles called the Z9 GT. They do also have medium SUVs and big SUV N9. Today we are going to focus on this MPV. This has been the best selling, #1 selling MPV in the Chinese market since the introduction of this particular vehicle. There is a reason why, and I'm going to talk about that. Today we are driving the DMi all-wheel drive version. There is also a two-wheel drive version available, not that popular. There is also a EV available, again, not as popular as the DMi, the plug-in hybrid. The reason being, many people who drive this vehicle use as a daily drive are going to take the family out on the weekends. They do not want to stuck with the EV anxieties, especially for MPV like this. The aerodynamic is not going to be great. So DMi is actually the way to go in the Chinese market. I'm not entirely sure if BYD will introduce this vehicle in the New Zealand Australia market as DMi or EV, but I do wish them to introduce this as a DMi. So from the exterior, the dimension is over 5.2 meters long, with a width just under 2 meters, and the wheelbase is 3.11 meters. So it's not a small car in any shape and form. The overall dimension is going to be very similar to something you can find in the New Zealand market, like a Kia Carnival or Toyota Alphard overall. It is sold being a 7-seater in the Chinese market. First thing, at the front, we got the Denza logo, which looks absolutely different from the BYD logo. Big chunky wheel over here. You can see the silver trims and glossy black trims over here. LED headlights with daytime running, of course, is also available. Now on the side, this vehicle is equipped with 18-inch with Michelin tires, Monty spokes. They look alright, they definitely do not look shy or anything like that. It's reasonably big for MPV, so it's a fair, it's more than enough. Over here, shoulder lines are quite straightforward, and on the side, that's quite straightforward. There's no roof rails on top, by the way. Underneath, silver plate over here. On this side, that's your petrol tank, and then on the other side, that's the charging port. Then at the back, we are getting an LED running bars. They look alright actually. There are some arrows, there are some designs over here. On the side, we get DMi all-wheel drive. It should be another D at the back. I'm not sure if it's stolen or just lost. Over here, that's the Denza letters. Over here, that's the Tengshi, which is the Chinese name for Denza D9, which is this particular model. What do you think about the shape? What do you think about the design? Please let me know in the comments. And then on the top, you're going to find a big spoiler which covers the back. There are privacy glass on the side, so it's all fully tinted for this particular vehicle. Charging wise, this is the charging port, fast and slow charge available in the Chinese market. The fast charge is up to about 80 kilowatts, I think. It's not bad at all, to be fair. And the battery capacity on this vehicle is 40 kilowatt hour, which is LFP, BYD's Blade battery, of course. Combined range is more than 1,100 kilometers on the all-wheel drive version. Now let's look at the back. Boot opening, pretty easy. It's the all power tailgate. I think that's pretty much standard across most of the range. Over here, you are getting about 410 liters of space, which is actually plenty. You can stack about minimum 2 big suitcases with some bags on the side. We've tried that, so that's pretty good. Underneath, additional storage underneath for your charging cables and things like that. You can drop these rear seats down, and they are 40-60 split. If those seats are a little bit pushed forward, you can use this to push, but they do not go full flat. There is going to be a hump over here. You can then use this button to drag forward and backwards. I'm not going to show you that, as I really want to show you what's available at the front. Do remember, these rear seats can also be adjusted at the front or at the back. Tether points behind, ISOFIX is all under outer seats. So on this vehicle, you can do 4 ISOFIX seats if you wish. But yeah, that's pretty much the boot. Once you drop everything flat, you're getting more than 2,000 liters of boot space. But most people are going to use it as a 6 or 7 seaters. That means about 400 to 500, depends on how you set up these seats. Or if you make the seats flat, I think that's going to be around 900 or something more than that liters of boot space. Anyway, that's the boot for us. Now let's go to the second row. I really want to show you that, how it looks like. Press this button. That's auto door, by the way. All right, it is not very clean today, so I'm gonna sit in and show you what it is like. And to close, I can remember, is over here. You do have the buttons on the dashboard, by the way, and I believe you can use this pad to control the doors, by the way, so there's a lot of things you can control. When we start for the interior, I want to tell you something about this vehicle. This is actually a model year 2023 vehicle. After this, they actually did some update for the model year 2024, and then after that, the model year 2025 added the smart drive systems, and that allows you to control the vehicle and then park the vehicle, whatever you want to do. So this is actually the kind of the first year product, so it's not going to come with everything, but this is still very well equipped at the time. So first thing in front of us, we are getting a 12.6-inch display, if my memory is correct. This is available for both rear passengers, available on the higher spec only. If this car does make its way to the overseas market, I doubt they come with this tablet, but overall, this tablet is really cool. Come with a lot of nice things. You can do the aircon on and off. You can do the heated seats, by the way, over here. Heated seats and cooling functions are available on the rear seat. Again, this is considered to be the second highest spec, so it does come with a lot of things. The newer version do have a slightly different systems. You can also tilt this up and down, by the way. You can also, there's quite a few features. You can do this as a mirror, this pop up, so you can see me. That's really cool. And press the back, that'll come off. So that's really smart design. You can do even KTV karaoke on this. To remember, you can use karaoke on pretty much all BYD vehicles. They do come with a microphone. You can do kids zones. You can play any videos for the kids, by the way. You can do here. So kids can watch a cartoon or whatever at the back while the vehicle is in motion or not in motion. And then they do come with, this does come with own speakers. So you're not going to be worried about the sound to other passengers and things like that. There's a lot of things you can do. Navigation, you can send the navigation to the driver. You can do sunroof, you can do heated seats. Oh, these seats does come with the massaging seats as well, so that's just crazy. There's ambient lighting settings, so a lot of things are available even on the outer seats. You can press this button for volume, you press this button to close the screen. That's pretty much it. And also, cool thing about this screen, you can do master control on that panel. So whatever is showing over here, you can control it through the driver. I'll explain that when we get inside. One thing this is missing from the 24 or later versions, there is actually a tray table over here from the later versions, but these do have a pocket. These do have 2 cup holders. There is also additional storage over here. This is actually electronic adjusted, which is really cool. So you can put all your things over here. Press that, that goes back. Additionally, these also have a tray underneath. This is actually a small fridge. These can go up to, I think, maybe 40-50 degrees on the warmer side, then -10 or -5 on the cold side. So that means cool your drinks or hot or warm your drinks is also possible. Again, you need to control it on the dashboard over there. Then over here, we are getting the panels. Swipe this up, you can do music, seats, aircon, and all the other things. Again, the 23 model does not come with the physical buttons to control your seats. You have to actually use these buttons or use the screen to control the seats. But the later version do have some sort of physical buttons to control the seats. And then we have lights. You can do all the lights, interior lights and ambient lights, sunroof and all things. So everything can be done over here in case you do not want to do anything. So yeah, that's the panel over here. That's available on both sides, of course. And then over here, we are getting a 50-watt wireless charging. You actually have to slide your phone inside that slot to control that. and there is a USB charging just behind the seats. And over here you are getting another 2 cup holders with some storage over here. There is a max weight under 50 kilograms if you wish, and then press this, that will fold in. Again, interior looks just a little bit different from the 24 or 25 versions, but most things are going to be identical in terms of comfort and all that things. And speaking of comfort, this was set to my driving position. I've got plenty of room, plenty of adjustments. There is also a sunshade over here. There is a door handle over here, and then that's the door control, window control underneath. There is a holder for your umbrella or for your drink, whatever you want. So really comfy seats. Again, the seats can be like, it's called zero gravity seats. You can push this forward, push this all the way back, make it as flat as you can. There's a lot of things you can adjust, but over here I'm gonna slide forward, slide backwards, and then this is the thigh support that goes up, and then this is the back. It's gonna go back. Oh, that's the lumbar support, by the way. This is all the way back for my control. So yeah, a lot of adjustments you can do to make yourself as comfy as you wish. So that's the cool part about second row seats. This feels very premium. I do not think this is lacking any sort of adjustments in terms of comfort and everything. So that's set to my driving position, 178 centimeters tall, and this is me sitting over here, plenty of room, and we're gonna go to the third row and just to see how it's like. The good thing about these two-seater, that means you can easily jump to the back and try the third row. So, third row, surprisingly, really good. You do get this very nice pillow at the back with Denza logo over here. I don't need that today. So this is me. I'm not even touching, or I can touch it, but I don't need to touch it in terms of third row seats. Again, 178 centimeters tall. I've got plenty of room. That's really comfy. The seat base and seat material feels just as good as the second row seats. They are not going to cut down the material and things like that. Do remember, you can slide these seats forward and backwards if you wish to. This is all the way back. Again, you can also adjust the rear recline. I can pull this to a little bit backwards and then a little bit forward again, depending on your luggage and things like that. On the third door, you can even get armrest over here, and then your cup holders are going to be on the side, USB charging, some pockets over here, and then you do have speakers, air conditioning control, everything is all there. It's not a bad place to be. At the third row, I find myself really comfy, just even sitting at the back. You can see second people over here, third people over there. If I move a little bit to the left, this is what you can see. Still really wide, really flat, no issue at all. All right, now we're done with the third row. Let's get to the driver's seat to see how it's like. And before we get inside the driver's seat, this is what it looks like for the panels at the front. All right, let's get to the front and see what it is like. Really nice leather seats over here again. This is not Nappa, but the top spec is Nappa, but this is real leather. They're not synthetic leather or any cheap material at all. So we got big chunky steering over here, flat bottom underneath, some piano buttons over here. They're not the easiest to use while you're driving or occasionally. Sometimes you do have to press them. They are like haptic feedbacks. I think they've changed the steering to some really physical feels on the newer versions. So they've done some improvements. That's good. We're not going to talk about that. And then in front of us, that's a 10.25-inch display that has pretty much all the information you need to for your driving and things like that. But again, this is slightly older, let's say, system compared to the newer one. This feels like a C-Line 6 instead of C-Line 7 for the dashboard system, by the way. And then in front of us, we are also getting a nice head-up display. I think they are pretty good in terms of overall feels. It's relatively sharp overall. Then in front of us over here, should be a 15.6-inch display. I could be wrong. This has, again, majority of the functions you need to control everything. You can see the maps, you can see all the things, you can see all the controls, you can have access to internet. Over here you can control the refrigerator at the back or fridge at the back, cool or warmer, whatever you want. And there's just simply a lot of things you can do voice command, and even the rear seats can do voice command. The cool thing about the rear seats, if they identify the rear seats as a childish voice, it's not going to give too much of a adjustment for them. But if it's adult sitting in the back, doing any voice recognitions, it's gonna follow the recognitions and things like that. So that's actually cool. And just like all the other BYD vehicles, you can do the sliding left and right for the fan speed, up and down for the temperature. That's pretty simple. At the front, both seats do have heating, cooling, massaging, so it's got everything you want. Again, this is the second to the highest spec. Over here, the vehicle controls are going to find, and this system is very similar to what you can find on the BYD Sea 7 or the BYD Shark 6. Only thing, this does not rotate or tilt, by the way, so this is just a stay there panel overall. And then 360 camera, we should test that. It's pretty clear, it's a rainy day overall, but yeah, no issue. I've never had issue with BYD 360 camera. They're all relatively easy to use. Underneath, we got 50-watt wireless phone charging over here. We've also got some USB charging underneath, and then gear shift is over here, stop-start button, and park button is over here. Some of these buttons are going to be haptic feedbacks, just like what you can find on the steering, but again, BYD has done some improvements. Some of these buttons on the later versions are physical buttons now. But they are piano black finish, so you're going to see some sort of marks or fingerprints in here and there. You got buttons to control your left and right doors, one button to control the boot, one button to control this storage area, and then some buttons to control your air cons, auto hold, EV, HEV settings, and drive mode settings are also available. Two cup holders are reasonable. You can cover this up, again, piano black finish, press this. Center storage isn't too big, but they're okay in terms of quality, but you do get additional storage underneath over here. Glove box is again decent, and then cup holders on the side and storage on the side. There is also a small storage over here, buttons over here to control your windows, and also windows over here. This high spec does come with the dyno audio. That's pretty good, but they're not superb. They are a little bit better than some average speakers, let's put it that way. Now, in terms of fit and finishes, even everything on the dashboard are soft material, leatherette material maybe. Over here, some trims, like it's look like a wooden trims, piano black trims over here. Again, some fingerprints, but they look nice when it's just sitting there flat. Steering feels good. Leather materials over here, leather materials on the side, wooden like trims over here, leather material over here. Underneath, some plastic underneath. So overall, the interior feels really good. It's definitely way above its price tag. I'll leave the price on the screen over there for the Chinese and conversions to New Zealand dollars. All right, before we get started, let's quickly look at the visibility around the vehicle. On the side, that's pretty good. At the back, that's okay if you're not having anyone on the third row middle seats. The rear glass is actually pretty good. Over here, overall, that's pretty good interior. All right, let's get it on the road. First thing, there's a lot of technical details about this vehicle in terms of the driving and things, battery and stuff like that. So maybe we'll do the battery first. So the vehicle comes with a 40 kWh LFP battery. Of course, they are BYD Blade technology. And that means durability, safety is going to be pretty good compared to other vehicles on the market. So the full EV driving range on this vehicle is going to be 190 kilometers, and the CLTC cycle under WLTP, I think that could land about 140 to 160 kilometers. Again, that's more than enough for most people's daily use. That's thanks to the big battery, 40 kWh. That's a huge battery for a plug-in hybrid, but it is needed for an MPV like this. It is definitely not a lightweight vehicle, by the way. And then the combined range and the full tank and full charge is going to be around 960 kilometers, again under CLTC cycle. It does not go over 1000 Ks compared to other DMi that's available under the BYD group. But do remember, this is a much heavier car. It's a 7-seater, it's a long, it's a big boxy shaped design as well. In terms of driving, this is DMi dual mode intelligent system, so that means it is a plug-in hybrid. They come with a 1.5 liter turbocharged petrol motor at the front that produces 102 kilowatts, and then it comes with two EV motors, one at the front, one at the back, that combined makes this vehicle as an all-wheel drive vehicle. The good thing about the all-wheel drive on the MPV, it does give you a lot better tractions around the corners and things like that. Unlike the two-wheel drives and things like that. It does not really focus on the driving acceleration, by the way. It is more focused on the traction. So that means the front EV motor will produce 170 kilowatts of power. The rear EV motor produces only 45 kilowatts of power. Again, the rear-wheel drive is purely focused on the traction and things like that, safety, rather than let's say the pure acceleration. After all that, the combined power for this sort of vehicle is 299 kilowatts of power, 681 Newton meters of torque. Nevertheless, those are still crazy numbers in terms of its performance, in terms of its driving features and things like that. This vehicle actually belongs to my dad, who owns this car in China. He does drive this vehicle for long journeys here and there, some city runs as well. Yeah, overall, it is a really good car to drive. I've driven this vehicle for probably 3,000 kilometers over the past 2 years. Whenever I came back to China, I got to drive this sort of vehicle, along with other vehicles, of course. Overall, the driving experience, it's really good. You'd expect that from a BYD vehicle. And the EV and the HEV, there's no shortage of power at all. We've driven long journeys, we've driven short journeys around the cities. Everything's really, really smooth, as you'd expect. It's come with the eCVT transmission, by the way, for the powertrain. Other things, the vehicle comes with the MacPherson struts at the front for the suspension and multi-link at the back for the rear suspension. This top spec 4-wheel drive or all-wheel drive does come with a slightly better suspension compared to the 2-wheel drive or lower specs. I think many of the buyers are actually going to choose the all-wheel drive against the lower 2-wheel drive, by the way. Overall, around the city and the EV or even HEV driving, this vehicle feels very, very silent. There's not much of a noise at all. The pedal response is fairly reasonable, not super fast, not aggressive. Like all the other BYD vehicles, they are pretty easy to control, but they're not going to be pushing you forward whenever you tap it down and things. So that's a good thing about the pedal response on BYD vehicles. Very, very comfy overall in terms of travel. As in China, especially the place I live in, it's really flat. All the roads are just really comfy. Not going to be any headaches for you in terms of driving. In terms of handling, it is actually pretty solid, but it's not sporty in any way. If you go through big corners, there's going to be some sort of body roll as the vehicle is reasonably high, 1.9 meters overall. But that's also something you don't need as the handling machine from an MPV. This is going to be family focused in terms of driving experience. The only complaint some people may make, especially my wife has made some points about this, is probably the rear suspension. The rear suspension does have a few knockings here and there. When you go through bumps or potholes, anything like that, feels the rear does shakes a little bit worse than the second row. But again, on these sort of flat surfaces we're driving right now, you can't barely feel it. So only on some certain rough roads that there are constant shakes, then these car may struggle a little bit. BYD has done something on the later versions for the rear suspension setup, but they still get a little bit complaint from some people here and there. But overall, it's going to be a really nice experience for pretty much 7 people inside the vehicle in terms of the driving experience. Now the power, I can't do any accelerations over here. It's a rainy day, there's no point to do that, but I'm going to say power is effortless whenever you want to take off. When you put the foot down, it's just instant go. The good thing is the all-wheel drive traction. I'm just on no mode, it's very standard. I'm going to do a quick acceleration just to give you a feel. 1, 2, 3. It's pretty good, isn't it? You can feel the front does have a more power compared to the rear. But yeah, overall, it is a nice feel in terms of its driving and experience. So we definitely enjoy this vehicle. Let's go to the airport, just pass by, so I can do a little bit handling rather than just focused on vehicles, just front drive and things. It looks like there's no one around this airport today. There's not much flight right now. But yeah, again, the overall driving experience on this is very, very easy. That's why this, again, has been the best-selling MPV in the Chinese market over the past couple years, to be fair. Do remember before this, the Buick GL8 has always been the king of this sort of MPV game, and then after the Denza came out, GL8 was meeting a big let's say downfall on some of the numbers. They're still selling good numbers, but not as good as what they used to be. So that's the cool thing about the BYD's game. Their car is reasonably priced, but at the same time, the interior feels really good. Additionally, it is also very efficient. When you drive this vehicle around town, you can charge it up. You can drive up to 190 on the CLTC cycle in terms of kilometers. At the same time, when you go out the journey, even if the vehicle drains out the battery, you are going to have a reserve level about 20 to 25%. That means the fuel consumption is still going to be good. When we drove this vehicle to another city on the motorway, on the Chinese motorway especially, you can drive up to 120 kilometers per hour. We can achieve somewhere around 6 to 7 liters when the vehicle is loaded with 4 or 5 people inside the vehicle. So that's pretty good in terms of consumption. Yeah, that's the cool thing about the BYD Denza. I do hope you enjoyed the contents. If you do not forget to subscribe and like. That's the best way to support the channel. That's the end of this video, and we're going to see another BYD Denza just down there. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next video.